Welcome to Moveable Dough. This is Steve Danielson. Each week on Moveable Dough, I sit down with a composer to talk about their lives, their musical journeys, and, of course, their music. Come with me as we explore each unique path into composition and what they have to share with the world. For a complete archive of episodes, as well as access to the shorter segments called Movable Snippets, visit my website, sdcompose.com/movabledough. Hey, this is Steve. Thanks for joining me on this last episode of Season 6 of Moveable Dough. It's always bittersweet to end the season. It's always nice to have a break, but it's so fun talking to the composers that I miss doing the interviews between seasons. Not to worry, though. The podcast isn't taking a break. I have a lineup of movable snippets ready to go that will carry us through the hiatus until Season 7. Speaking of which, I'm not 100% sure when Season 7 will begin. I have recently accepted a new teaching position at a high school in Meridian, Idaho, and will be moving with my family at the beginning of August. It will take me a little time to get settled in the new position before I start doing interviews again. That being said, I do have big plans for the next season. So currently, I've completed 83 interviews, usually doing 14 episodes per season, with one season only at 13 episodes. So next season, I plan on doing 16 interviews, which will get me up to 99, and then have a huge 100th episode spectacular. It'll be one you don't want to miss. So I'd like to take some time now to thank all the guests from this season. I'm always astounded by their kindness and their generosity as they come to the program. So we had Jaakko Montajärvi, Janice Cap Perry, Andrew Morgan Smith, Diedrich van der Lag, Jessica French, Don Sontag, Dwight Bigler, Sarah Rimkus, James Knox, Yuhi Bansal, Tracy Wong, Rob Gardner, Garrett Breeze, and Craig Hella Johnson. It is such a pleasure for me to get to know these composers and their music. I'll drop links to their websites down in the show notes. Visit their websites, support their work. I would love to hear from you which interview is your favorite or your general thoughts about the podcast. If your podcast platform of choice allows it, please like, share, and comment. That helps get Moveable Dough higher in the algorithms. If not, then come on over to the Moveable Dough Listeners Facebook group and post there. I do want to hear from you. And of course, since this is the end of the season, I'd like to tell you about the song you've been hearing all season as the opening to each episode. It's called Solus, and it's the second movement in a three-movement work I wrote called Semper Solus In Turba, which means always alone in a crowd. That was a phrase I came up with in 2016 to describe how I often felt, the feeling of being an outsider, lonely, even in the midst of a large group of people. As I thought more about this motto, I came to realize that it means a lot more than that. All of us have these qualities about us that make us unique in a crowd. Semper Solus In Turba therefore became a celebration of our individuality. I took the three parts of the phrase and created three works based on the idea of Semper, Solus, and In Turba. The third movement, In Turba, was premiered first when it won a composition competition in 2017. I then premiered the entire set as part of my first DMA conducting recital in the fall of 2018. So I'd like to share all three movements with you today. Semper, always. In this turbulent world, the idea that something can be constant is somehow reassuring. I began with a steady, slow, strong heartbeat, which is the most fundamental constant in the world. As I looked for a poem to use for the soloist, I kept running into poems that used the word always faithful, always strong, always committed, etc. And so those are the words you hear being sung by the choir. I finally found a poem which my father-in-law used to quote, which I thought had a beautiful message. So I took the other ideas, translated them into Latin, gave the words to the chorus, and the steadiness of the text remains even in the midst of the turbulence. Solus, alone. This piece was written to capture the feeling of being alone. Being alone is not necessarily a bad thing. Most of us do our best thinking when we're alone. Sometimes being alone can be the start of something beautiful. One girl in her room, recording herself singing just the soprano line of a song, brought thousands of people together to create visually stunning virtual choirs. Thousands of voices singing together, alone.
Surf's up, dude. Looking for a way to have fun this summer? Make a podcast using Spotify's super easy-to-use platform. You can use it to record, edit, and distribute your podcast, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Use your phone, your computer, whatever you got, dude. Spotify can help you distribute your podcast wherever podcasts are heard. Dude, video podcasts are even available. With Q&A and polls for your fans, we're talking totally next level stuff, dude. And did I mention it's free? Yeah, dude, it's free, but you still earn money. So this summer, use Spotify for Podcasters and finally make that podcast about catching the gnarliest wave ever. Or maybe an awesome podcast about the music of living composers. I don't know. That sounds radical too. Whatever you choose to do, dude, do it with Spotify for Podcasters. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
In turba, in a crowd. I don't like crowds. I get tense at concerts, sporting events, or big cities. I feel trapped when surrounded by too many people. This song captures my angst while being in a crowd. The different languages are used to represent the idea that crowds are also made of individuals, each engrossed in their own worlds, their own thoughts, their own conversations, just like being alone, though being part of a crowd can be a breathtakingly beautiful experience when each individual concentrates on bringing their thoughts into one. Picture the raw power of an orchestra and a choir of 500 voices singing fortissimo, O Fortuna, and you begin to capture the potential of a crowd. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that performance of Semper Solus In Turba, and that you have enjoyed Season 6 of Moveable Do. Please like, subscribe, share, visit the website, buy the merch, and all the other things I've promoted this season. Keep in touch on Facebook or Instagram. Share your favorite music memes. Enjoy your time on the hiatus, and I'll see you again in Season 7. In the meantime, this is Steve Danielson. Keep the music moving.